Hi guys, this is Amit Rishi, and in this particular video we'll cover some of the important current affair topics related to ecology and environment. So let's begin. We'll cover some of the important personalities, one of which is Mr. Pawan Sukhdev. As you can see, he is currently the chairman and president of World Wide Fund for Nature, that's WWF. Apart from that, he is also Goodwill Ambassador of United Nations Environmental Program. The important information that we must know is that he has been awarded the Tyler Prize for the year 2020 along with another person. Her name is Dr. Gretchen Daly. So his work on the field of green economy was applauded globally. So actually green economy was a conceptual project launched by Ban Ki-moon. आप लोगों ने इनका नाम सुना होगा, Ban Ki-moon, who was the Secretary General of UNEP at that time. So after Ban Ki-moon, he took over from her and इन्होंने उस काम को आगे बढ़ाया, and he was appointed as a study leader of economics of ecosystem biodiversity, also known as TEEB, as we all know. Or is the first report that came out of the study of this entire project became the base of global green economy initiative. और इसके लिए, and because of this particular work on global green economy initiative, he was awarded the Tyler Prize for the year 2020. The award was declared announced in 26th or 27th of January 2020, and eventually it was handed over to him on 1st of May in New York. So it is said about this particular award, it is considered to be the Nobel Prize of Environment. And basically Mr. Pawan Sukhdev is an environmental economist, and currently he is also in the advisory board of TEEB. So what he actually did, he showed the entire world the economic impact or the consequences of environmental degradation. इन्होंने एक economic value जो होती है environment की, वो पूरे world को बताई, और उसके ऊपर scholars, scientists, organizations और scholars ने काम करना स्टार्ट कर दिया, and eventually they find that particular person, the particular report Mr. Pawan Sukhdev that gave was correct. तो इनको इसलिए टाइलर प्राइज मिला था. Moving on to next personality, Mr. Prafulla Samantara, one of the greatest human we have in India. Now Prafulla Samantara is the most recent Indian to receive Green Nobel Prize. As you can see, it is also known as Goldman Environmental Prize. Now this is because the Goldman Environmental Foundation, based in California, gives this particular award to 6 individuals every year on the day when we observe the Earth Day, that is 22nd of April. So this particular person is the 6th Indian to receive this particular award, and apart from him, there one name you can relate to was Medha Patkar. So Medha Patkar was given the award in 1992, I guess. Yes, it was given in 1992. And some more information about Prafulla Samantara. He actually belongs to Odisha, and he works for the Dongriya Kond tribe. The Dongriya Kond tribe is a key word. Apart from that, he works for the conservation of Niyamgiri Hill. Now we'll discuss about 2 cases. Basically this great person is a lawyer, and what happened was the central and state government approved a project of bauxite mining, because the Niyamgiri Hill is a huge aluminium ore mine. Before the project would start, इन्होंने किया क्या he filed a petition, he filed a case in Supreme Court, and eventually, बहुत लंबी हिस्ट्री थी उसकी, the case actually took roughly around 12 years. Eventually, Vedanta was the company involved in this particular project, and we all know that it's a MNC, and in fact it is the largest mining company of India. So see the passion of this person. He fought against the largest MNC of India and eventually won the case, and this particular bauxite mining project was suspended, in fact cancelled. Apart from that, there is a state government approved plan of creating a coastal highway from Digha to Gopalpur. The length was roughly around 415 kilometers. The project cost was 7500 crores. He opposed this particular project as well. So basically his concern was to save the Chilika and Bhitarkanika area, and he filed a case against these as well, these particular case, and eventually this was also suspended. And right now, last time I checked, he is working against a program by POSCO. POSCO, as we all know, it's a South Korean steel giant. So we can say that this particular person, to conserve nature, fights against the big MNCs. एक तरीके का रिस्क लेते हैं, और जो ग्रीन नोबेल है वो अगर बिल्कुल हम बेसिक में जाए तो ये ग्रीन नोबेल उन्हीं लोगों को मिलता है दैट रिस्क देयर लाइफ टू कंजर्व नेचर एंड डू एक्स्ट्राऑर्डिनरी थिंग्स. So moving on to the next information, the all-time favorite, the Great Indian Bustard. Now there are tons of information related to this Great Indian Bustard, like it's a state bird of Rajasthan. It is one of the heaviest flying bird. It is indicator species of grassland ecosystem. It needs some explanation. So indicator species, ये जिस इकोसिस्टम में रहता है, the particular place where it thrives, the habitat is a grassland, and it indicates the health of this ecosystem. If this particular bird is healthy, we can say without any doubt that the ecosystem is healthy, because the first tampering, the first effect, the degrading effect of the ecosystem will be shown by this particular bird. That's why it is called the indicator species of grassland ecosystem. A fun fact, the Great Indian Bustard was once considered to be selected as national bird of India, but eventually peacock was made the national bird. Now recently concluded, recently I mean 20th of Feb 2020, the CMS COP13, the conservation of migratory species, India proposed some names, some proposal were made. What is relevant जो हमारे काम का है वो ये कि that in CMS COP13, Great Indian Bustard was declared as endangered migratory species. The government of India, states, NGOs, and individuals, environmentalists, all are working for the conservation of this particular beautiful bird. The government of India, as you can see, is taking help of Pokhran range when they identify that there were some birds located in this area. So what they did, they declared this place as a conservation reserve. So basically ये जहाँ पाया जाता है उसको गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया कंजर्वेशन रिजर्व डिक्लेयर कर देती है to save it. As you can see, in Ajmer district, Sonkalia has been declared as a conservation reserve, a particular region of Sonkalia. A chick rearing center has been set up in Jaisalmer. Now Sorsan is a place in Rajasthan. Sorsan, is a place in Rajasthan. It is also identified as another rearing center for Great Indian Bustard. So as you can see in your screen, there is an information that 9 eggs has been found in Desert National Park in India. So what happened? The eggs were collected and they were taken to a chick rearing center where they were used in incubation center, the hatchery, the hatching center, and the last information that was given by them was all the 9 chicks were healthy and were doing fine. They were healthy, and this gave a hope that by using incubation and rearing center we can increase the population of the Great Indian Bustard, because IUCN का जो information है हमारे पास, it's very worrying because it says only 150 odd number of Great Indian Bustard is now living on the planet Earth. So what Ministry of Environment has done, it has allocated a package of 34 crores of rupees, and a part of this package will be used for creating and setting up incubation project and chick rearing center. Now this, for the protection project Great Indian Bustard, was initiated by Rajasthan government by allocating around 12 crores of rupees. We can see that it is protected under Schedule 1 of Wildlife Protection Act Amendment 2002. It's protected under CITES. It is listed in Appendix 1. The BirdLife International, on the request of Indian government, उसको uplift कर दिया था, uplifted Great Indian Bustard from endangered to critically endangered. पहले ये endangered species में आता था. Now it is critically endangered on the request of Indian government. So these are some information. Apart from that, a conservation region जो हमने अभी देखा है शोंकालिया में, ये 20 bird nest के मिलने के बाद ये डिसीजन लिया गया. So there is a separate team constructed by state government. They were given special gadgets to identify these kind of nest in Rajasthan, Gujarat and nearby areas where the possibility of finding out of this bird is high. So moving on, this is Malabar civet. As you can see, it is critically endangered. In India, it is protected under Wildlife Protection Act Schedule 1, one of the rarest mammal. And local merchants of Kerala, they used to rear this particular animal to get civet on. It's a kind of perfume secreted by perineal gland of Malabar civet. It is collected, usually the people collect in some test tubes the particular wax, and it is said that decades ago this was the first perfume used by humankind, the Malabar civet secretion. Now more information that it was considered as the carrier of SARS in 2002-2003. That it means that from bat to Malabar civet, without affecting Malabar civet, it was considered to be affecting human beings. Another piece of information that the कोकोबेरी जो होते हैं वो इसके प्रिफर्ड फूड होते हैं. हम जानते हैं कि कोकोबेरी से कॉफ़ी बनती है. तो कोकोबेरी को खाने के बाद जो सीड्स होते हैं, इट कैन नॉट डाइजेस्ट द सीड, ऑल्सो नोन एज पिट्स, बट द एंजाइमेटिक एक्शन ऑफ Malabar civet changes the upper surface of this pit, and eventually when it is excreted, the people collect this seeds, and these seeds are used to make coffee. As you can see, it is used to make expensive coffee. In terms of dollar, the current price is roughly around 94,000 rupees per kg. So it was rumored during the recent lockdown period because of COVID-19 that it has been spotted in Kozhikode in Kerala, and eventually और the environmentalist rushed there. वो ये इसलिए क्योंकि since 1990 और 1989 के बाद से इसको देखा नहीं गया है, and people are fearing that it might have gone extinct. So it's been around 30 years, and the leading news daily, in fact some news channel reported this very confidently that Malabar civet has been spotted in Kerala, but eventually after checking the facts it came out that it was not Malabar civet, it was Indian civet. So in fact there are 7 different kind of species, different civets are found. Malabar civet is yet to be seen in nature or somewhere else. We are hoping for the best. Now moving on, this is the Okajukal glacier, which is now dead. The important thing is that it's the first glacier which got extinct because of climate change. This is before and after images. As you can see, the Icelandic data says it was around 6.2 square kilometer in 1890, and it reduced to a mere patch of ice now. So it is located in Iceland, and in Icelandic terms the word Jökull is called glacier. The word Jökull is called glacier. So this particular glacier is known as OK. This is called glacier. So this is called OK glacier. In fact, in 2018 a documentary was made, and the name of the documentary was Not OK. So by Icelandic Meteorological Office, also known as IMO, it was declared as dead, and scientists and environmentalists का ये मानना है कि in next 180 plus years, maybe around 200 years, all the main glaciers are expected to meet the same fate. सबका यही होना है if we, अगर हम अपने जो तरीकों को नहीं बदलें, अगर हम अपने कुछ changes नहीं लाएं, if we fail to put stringent actions in place and implement them, we are going to lose more than 200, roughly around 400 glaciers will be lost. तो mainly इसके the reason which is inferred is that it is said that the July 19 in 2019 the July was the warmest. So there are many factors that eventually led to the extinction of this particular glacier. But what happened next was even more disturbing. It was a shock for the entire world, that's for sure. So what happened, people gathered around this particular glacier and they arranged a ceremony in a kind of mourning. उन्होंने एक तरीके की श्रद्धांजलि दी थी इस ग्लेशियर को. We can in fact have some images as well. You can see this image. In this particular image you can see that people have gathered around this particular glacier, and even the Prime Minister of Iceland has attended this particular ceremony, and most of the people were carrying a copper plaque with a heading "Letter to the Future," and the major content written on the copper plaque was 415 ppm CO2. This shows the level of pollution by carbon dioxide, and later to the future it's a kind of warning to the future to we still have very much less time, तो हम लोगों को अब इस चीज़ को कंट्रोल में कर लेना चाहिए. Now moving on, this is experimental advanced superconducting tokamak east. This is an ambitious project by China to create an artificial sun. हमने देखा है China is very adventurous in the field of science and technology. We are already witnessing one of that. In fact, it is said that it once created a fake moon. It is also said कि चाइना ने जेनेटिकली एडिटेड बेबीज बनाई हैं. इट इज़ ऑल्सो सेड कि मून पर चांद पर चाइना ने स्प्राउट्स को प्रोड्यूस किया था. एंड नाउ ही इज प्लानिंग टू गो फॉर पोटैटोज. So we'll see what happens. But talking about this particular project, इस particular project में जो China है is, if China could pull this project off, अगर ये China करके दिखा देता है, तो this will be not less than a miracle, because then we'll have an infinite source of clean energy. ये हमारे लिए बहुत अच्छा होगा. and this particular device that you can see is actually HL2M tokamak. Tokamak is a project. It's a project. You can say it's a kind of approach as well. Basically, it creates a kind of magnetic field to trap the plasma, which is extremely hot, because we know the core temperature of sun is around 15 million degrees centigrade, but the temperature of this particular device which जो sun China बना रहा है उसका temperature जो है it is roughly around 100 million. So to trap the plasma, this particular tokamak approach has been used. If we delve down a little bit deeper, हम बहुत deep नहीं जाएंगे, एक दो information ही लेंगे. We are using deuterium and tritium, two heavy isotopes of hydrogen. They usually repel each other, but on higher temperature, in higher temperature what happens is they fuse, and they after fusing generates huge amount of energy that can be harnessed. So apart from tokamak approach, there is yet another approach which is called laser bombardment. So in Princeton University, a project is going on which is named after Lord Shiva. So in USA, Princeton University, there is a project based on laser bombardment technique named after Lord Shiva. So guys, we have reached to the end of this particular session of current affairs. We'll meet again, and I would like to know what else do you want to cover, so do subscribe this channel, and we'll meet again guys. Take care. Bye.